condemned hotel. A condemned hotel.
Blown up that Monday.
Was trying to get $400 a night. Condemned out of business hotel. Okay?
Yeah.
And you're telling me that if I wait, I can have the Mandalay Bay or the Mirage for half that price the following day? Just because I waited and you guys overpriced it and you got 20 people in a room? What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
And this is going to get some hate mail. Who did you think the fans are of these two fighters? Did you really think that there was just because this was a big Hollywood thing, if all of Hollywood bought hotels in Vegas, it would only take up one hotel.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Okay, what about the other, I don't know, however many, 30,000 rooms there are in Vegas? That's probably an exaggeration, but I wouldn't be surprised. It's probably in the range of 30, 40, 50, 100,000 rooms. I mean, it's a lot of rooms. It's a lot of rooms. And you guys are all charging 10 times your weekend value for this one weekend.
Yeah,
and then turn around on Saturday night to try to save face and turn around and dump rooms. I'm telling you, if I paid $900 to stay at the Mirage, and I went on a travel site and saw that you had the same room for $100, which they did, I'd lose my mind. Lose it. Straight up lose my mind. Do you know how much companies like Priceline, who have matching guarantee policies, would have had to have paid out that night?
One thing good, De La Hoya learned a lesson. He said Canelo Cotto will not be like that.
Well, since the fight's not going to happen, De La Hoya doesn't have to worry.
The fight's going to happen, Lee. Don't start with that again.
So let's talk about the Triple Crown and PBC on NBC or CBS or whatever. I'm so sick of the First of all, let me talk about the forums of this week with PBC. The fans, there are two groups. There are people who really think that Al Heyman is doing great things for boxing. Great things. There was even one series of debates your comments are racially motivated. I said, my comments are not racially motivated. I don't even know what color Al is. I've never physically seen Al. Never.
Right.
Never met him face to face. He could be at a press conference. You'd have to point him out to me.
He hides. He doesn't like the media.
Right. And for those that don't know, Al could be a white guy for as far as anybody knows. He isn't, but he could be. And he isn't, but you guys don't know that. You guys
like Scooby-Doo?
It's like Scooby-Doo, right. You pull the mask and I could be Al. Yeah, right. Here's the thing about Al. What I don't like is, and I've read the article, Andrew, for those listening, Andrew got me an article this week where they were kind of discussing this money and how it's all kind of making money, and at 1 million viewers per show, they're making this money, and it's all making sense, and it's really, there is no way, I will say it again, I will say it on every single show, there is no way that PBC is going to be around in a couple of years. No way. I will quit. I'll set a deadline. I will set a deadline for me. I will turn it all over to Andrew. Okay? Look, I was a man of my word. If I got knocked out by Aaron, I was willing to quit and turn over my audience. Fine. I didn't get knocked out, but I took some time off anyway because I lost. I'm a man of my word. I am saying this. This time, 2 years from today, there will not be a PBC. There won't be. There's no way that you can spend that kind of money on average fighters if they're not going to fight each other. He's going to use them all up. He's going to spend all the money. He's got, 100 fighters under contract?
Yeah, upwards of 180.
Okay.
You just don't know who they are.
Let's just say that on average they're $750,000 contract to keep these guys? $500,000? You're looking at $100 million worth of contracts between 200 fighters? Minimum?
I mean, and seriously, Lee, if you look at these PBC shows, the first 5 or 6 that they've done, they've already started to recycle some of their fighters. So I don't know where all the 180 fighters are, because we're already seeing Collazo twice, Guerrero twice, Broner twice. Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. I think the numbers make your prediction a safe bet. This weekend, Guerrero versus Martinez pulled in a .95. And, well, the boxing world would like to brag about how that's
about 1 million people. And in the boxing world, that's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
Look at that. But first of all, here's two big differences between Cotto and Gil. First of all, one is a pay service. The other is on free TV. I'll say this. You're telling me that professional boxing on a Saturday with the Triple Crown behind you.
Right.
In Southern California at noon. Look, they didn't even get the fans to the seat in time for the fights. I mean, that's shocking all by itself. I mean, everything about PBC was wrong. I'm telling you, I would have requested a refund if I showed up at, let's say that they wanted you there at 10 o'clock, first fight went off at whatever it was, noon? First fight was at noon? Okay, so they open the doors at 10, first fight goes off at 11, main event is at 12. We start TV at 12, we're done by 1:30. Come on, you're a boxing fan, Andrew. If it says be there at 4 o'clock, in the real world, not you being a geeky sports nerd, you're going to see the main event.
Yeah, you show up for the TV fights.
You show up at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, right?
Yep.
That's 3 hours after the fight start. 3 hours. Depending on who's structuring the card. 3 hours. I'm telling you, I show up at noon and this thing's already cooking, or I show up a little late. Let's say they open the doors at 11 and they tell you to be in their seat, that they're going to go hard camera at noon, which, by the way, is the way the crowd looked. I didn't even look because I did have it at one point. It was something crazy like first fight's at 11:30. Okay, so what? I show up at 12:30, 1 o'clock to find out it's over? Because at 1:30 they were running the horses. Now the shocking part of this, they barely get 1 million people to watch that really sad fight card. And then a horse going after the Triple Crown gets 12.3 million people to watch him.
Yeah. It's incredible, Lee. Does not, and remember, horse racing was dead in this sport long ago?
Well, it's a Triple Crown. This horse actually won the Triple Crown.
It really doesn't matter, because the Kentucky Derby did the same thing to the PBC show. I know that there's only 3 big races, but when you're talking about a sport that people have written off for years now, doing a 12.3 on their biggest stage, boxing should have at least brought in a 1 share, Lee, a .95. That means right after the PBC was done, 11 more million homes tuned into NBC. 11 million?
Oh, wait, you want more shocking to me? Because, I don't get any of this. All right, so you're talking about here's the unique thing about boxing, right? Just like horse racing. It's a once-in-a-lifetime situation. You could run these horses again, but they've already run, so you kind of know how the outcome's going to be. There's not going to be that much of a change. But fighting is unique. It's a one-time, it's going to be this way one time kind of situation. Even if the same 2 guys fight 3 more times, each fight will always be different, right? Yep. So boxing or fighting in general is always unique to the situation. That's why people like MMA. That's why people like even pro wrestling. Okay, it's always unique. That match won't be the same. It'll always be slightly different because it's got human beings involved. NASCAR. 40 cars driving around making nothing but left turns all day long. Is it left turns or right turns? Left turns. Who cares? Do you know how many people watch NASCAR on an average race?
Yeah. Yep.
7 million people. And we're here in boxing trying to say, look at us, Cotto and Gil got $1.5 million. Ooh, Floyd Mayweather got $5 million to buy their pay-per-view.
No. But, Lee, there's a big difference there. NASCAR could never make it on HBO. You see, to compare those...
Oh, you're wrong. That's like saying that pro football
Lee, they tried. NASCAR tried going pay-per-view a few years ago, and it bombed.
That was before they were red hot.
Yeah,
now
but
they're a different creature now. Now, would the Rednecks actually pay for it? Probably not.
Know. Yeah, because that. Yeah,
but
if
there was a quote-unquote Super Bowl, if they made the NASCAR Championship a Super Bowl-type match for that Cup, where one race dictates it all at the end of the year.
Yeah, really, their Super Bowl's in the beginning, the Daytona.
It goes out throughout the year. They have points leaders, and they got to win races.
No, I know that, but the Daytona 500 is the biggest race of the year, and that's in the number one race. That is like their
that'll be a 10 or a 15 million draw.
Yeah.
And that's the reality. Why does the Super Bowl make $1 billion for one day of football? And that's what it is. If you look at everything that goes on in that one day and you examine all of it, it's like a Floyd Mayweather Manny Pacquiao fight once a year. It is that big. The amount of money is $500 million of revenue. It's hundreds and hundreds, like around the world. You're talking $1 billion by now. Hundreds and hundreds of $1 million.
You know what I'm scared of? I'm scared of Al Heyman pulling the trigger and giving us like a Garcia versus Thurman on NBC.
But he has to.
And we still don't do over 3 million homes.
You're not going to. You might get up to a 2 share. You might get 2 million or 3 million.
That's going to be the scary part, Lee.
No, it's not scary.
Yeah.
This is why I said the PBC is a failed model. Instead of getting a contract for week in, week out, primetime Saturday, ABC afternoon, producing it like a regular TV show, like Spike TV does with some of the boxing or kickboxing promotions, where it's consistent, like where people can build a relationship with the Al Heyman fighters.
Right.
He's made a mistake. He's assuming that boxing fans will chase down this product.
Very true.
That's what he's assuming. Oh, I'm just going to keep running around looking for the PBC brand. It's bad marketing.
Yeah, Deontay Wilder's on Showtime this week, I think Saturday night, and then you have Lara on Friday night, both on the PBC series, though.
Yeah.
And the Lara fight's on Spike, excuse me. The Lara fight's on Spike, and then the other one's on Showtime. So, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Got to make something like Tuesday night fights, like Friday night fights.
You got to brand it. PBC on Spike every Friday night, Wednesday night, Monday night.
Yep.
Look, I remember, Tuesday night fights on USA?
Tuesday night fights.
Sean O'Grady? Come on.
Yep, I watched it religiously. Would it start like at 9 p.m.?
Because they were good fights.
Yep.
They were consistent. There were bad nights. Look, just like some of, but I even see it out of De La Hoya. When he's putting on consistent week in, week out fights with his lower end guys, their matchmaking makes competitive fights.
Right.
And you build it up, like he's always got a full casino. He's always making money. PBC, I don't buy it. I really don't. I don't.
Empty stadium, 0.95 on the rating.
I don't buy it. I think the people.
There was one point, Lee, when they announced Aaron Martinez, there was 2 people in the paying seats. 2. Everyone in the lower bowl, I don't believe, paid. There was a bunch of green little tickets out there. What do you call them? Green cards?
Yeah.
What do you call them, Lee?
Well, it's East LA. You went with green cards.
I didn't mean it like that, darn it.
But that's the way it came off. So the other big news of the week, which is circulating and floating around, and this is all started, we talked about this, but this all started because of Robert Garcia. Oscar De La Hoya returning to boxing. Now apparently Oscar has gotten into the habit of saying that he thinks he'd like to come back, and if he did come back, he'd fight Golovkin. Here's the thing. So I was talking about this with you. Last week on ES News, who I've never heard of before in my life, they just seem to run around and interview boxing people. I'm sure they're big, and I'm not trying to disrespect them. I've just never... And considering the number of views that they have on YouTube, nobody else really watches them or listens to them either.
They're getting a little disrespectful.
That's not disrespectful. If I go on YouTube and I type in Robert Garcia talks Oscar De La Hoya, when I saw it, a week after the information, like if you had Robert Garcia going, yeah, Oscar's going to come back and he's going to do this. If I train him, he's going to be a champion and blah, blah. If that really that's a pretty hot ticket item. Got to be honest.
Lee,
that should be what